Yo, it's Sparky, and this is Plants vs. Zombies. This is episode 4 of what's going to be a 10-part series, so you can go to my channel to watch more, or I have a playlist that just has all of the videos in order, so you can go watch that too. Alright, now that the intro's out of the way, we finally got the last 2 lines of the lawn, so now this episode is really going to be the last episode of what's considered kind of like the early game. I'd say next episode we kind of go into mid-game. And also yesterday, I made a YouTube short. Basically, this is going to be a short series where it's like a Plants vs. Zombies encyclopedia where I explain like what each plant does, what each zombie does, stuff like that. So that's like kind of the basics on Plants vs. Zombies. Now, at the end of last episode, we got the walnut. I don't use the walnut right off the start. I don't use it very much. Some people love to use it. It's a really good plant. I just don't find myself using it that much just because the cooldown on it is extremely long. You'll see what that does in a few minutes. So yeah, also in this episode and from here on out, I'm not going to be doing the sunflower pea shooter thing, just because at this point that's not really, it's not going to work. It just costs too much money and you don't need that many sunflowers. So for now, I'm doing 1 row of sunflowers. I think in an episode or 2, I go to doing 2 rows of sunflowers, which is then just what I'm going to do throughout the rest of the game. And this episode, we don't find any new types of zombies, thankfully. Not really ready for that yet, but I think we do tomorrow. And at the end of this episode, we don't get a new plant like we have every other time before, because there's going to be some episodes where you don't get anything at the end. Oh crap, that's a cone head already. So here's where I'm going to use the walnut. What the walnut does, it doesn't attack, it's just a shield. It has a bunch of health. So the zombie just sits there, it eats at it because it just can't get through. Well, your pea shooters get to attack it. So I would have been able to kill the cone head if I didn't put the walnut down, but it probably would have caused some more issues just because I did manage to get the second pea shooter down, but it might not have been in time. And if you see how the walnut's head is cracked, they basically have like a built-in health bar where after they take so much damage, then they lose like a little bit of health and they get a little bit of cracked, and then they get more cracked once they lose more health and they start like crying, and then after that it just dies. So walnuts, they're really good. There's a few counters that you're gonna find, but then there's a better walnut called a tall nut, which stops those counters. It counters those counters, but then there's another counter to that counter, which you can't really counter with another walnut, unfortunately. But it is what it is. Now you see how I have 2 rows of pea shooters. Any cone heads that come towards me, they're not going to make it. They're going to make it as far as a normal zombie would if I had 1 pea shooter. But so now I have 3 pea shooters in that one lane. So basically that's just, yeah, I'm just going for 3 pea shooters now. So no, I'm not going to say that actually. But yeah, the cooldown on the walnut is really long, but if you can get a full line of walnuts, that's pretty good. Nothing's really going to be able to get through if you have a full line of walnuts, unless you have like a giant crowd of zombies that's eating. Then a giant crowd is like a weakness to like the walnut, just because you can have like 5 or 6 zombies eating your walnut at one time, and you can only hit 1 zombie at a time unless you're using like an explosive. This is the final wave. You may have noticed that occasionally there's the zombie that has a flag. I just killed him, but that's the first zombie in the new waves, just in case you didn't know that. And that is the final zombie. And with that is the shovel. The shovel is going to be really helpful. But with that's the end of the episode. Thank you all for watching. Goodbye.